What's good? You're vibing, vibing with Reeves. You could be vibing with any other podcast, but right now you're vibing with yours truly, Mr. Reeves. And I thank you oh so much. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah. Quick question. Have you ever wanted to throw your hat in the arena or maybe being a social media person, be on YouTube with it, you know, maybe be a podcaster, maybe you want to be a singer, maybe you want to be an MC, maybe you're a poet, maybe you want to be a journalist, but you just don't know what your voice is, you're just not sure of what's your voice. Let me know if that's how you feel. Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments, you know. And I believe everyone that's trying to get into those fields has had to ask themselves that question, what's my voice? You know, we're going to get into that on this episode. We will get into that. Let's do it right now. Let's speak on that because having one's voice is important to be stand out, for you to stand out. It's important for you to stand out. There's so many people out there that's trying to do what you're doing, or that's already doing what you're trying to do, whichever way it is, You need to find your voice, find your lane, your authentic self, and speak from that angle. So that's one thing. You want to find who am I? Okay. You have to find who you are and let that shine to the world. And you may be saying, okay, that's cool, but how? You said why, but I'm still not convinced. You might be like, how, why, when, where, the questions. You may have questions. Understand. Truly, I do. We're about to get into it right now. I said we're about to get into it. I'm tripping. We are about to get into it right now. Not now, but right now. Let's say you know you want to be um a novelist. There's plenty of novelists out there. Not saying you can't do it. Not saying you won't do it. I'm sure you will do it. Not saying you just be in with it. You might be phenomenal with it. I said phenomenal with it. It might be amazing. Like Manisa would say, amazing. When I asked her how's the day go, she's like 8 years old. She's like, amazing. I'm amazing. Yeah, yeah. So shout out to the fam, shout out to her. Yeah. Well, you might be on that vibe. Your work might be amazing. I'm sure it will be. Leave it in the comments. But there's so many people out there, I can understand some people might be intimidated because there's so many people out there, and there's gonna be so many competitors, and there's people out there who take competition very seriously, and there's people out there who are dope, who are also amazing. And you might sit there and you can be easily intimidated. Same thing if you're a singer, you're an MC, producer, whatever, there's competition out there, and some people become intimidated by the competition. There's so many people out there that you may feel you have to compete with. There's people out there that want certain spots. And then you're like, dang, what am I gonna do? All these people want it. What am I gonna do? And you can easily say, I don't know, I don't know, and back away out of intimidation and fear. That's one of the things that keep people from finding their voice. Fear. You might be scared, you know, scared of being looked down upon. There's people who are very judgmental out there. They'll look down on you in a second. You could be doing better than they are, and they'll still find a way to look down on you somehow. It's weird. Some people are like that. Just gonna look down and not look down on you to give you a helping hand to help pull you back up. Nah, they gonna look down on you to say, he know he ain't worth shit, and just keep going about their business. Uh-uh-uh. She ain't nobody. Look at her still struggling. Such a shame. They could help, but they won't. So that's one of the things I understand that keeps people from finding their voice. That fear that they'll be talked down to, looked down upon, cast aside. Like, get out of here, get out of here. We have more important people coming through. We have people who are successful. Those are the people that count. And there's also a fear that they won't be in the same lane as the popular people. They may feel they're too out there, they're too weird, they're too different. So they might feel weird and that people won't want to that people won't want to deal with them. That people won't feel what they're bringing to the table. Like, dang, look, am I supposed to be myself? What am I supposed to do? I'm so different. I'm doing what I'm doing is so different than what other people are doing. Oh my gosh. I'm going to find my voice. If I'm feeling cast aside, I'm feeling so, so neglected. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying. I'm feeling so ignored. I'm feeling so unappreciated, so misunderstood because I'm different. And then there's people out there, it's going to be hard. You're already feeling different, but now to go through the work to find your voice, if you already know you feel different, but to delve into that and to find a voice, I understand it's hard. And these are things I went through too. I can't even lie like I haven't gone through these things, these concerns. I have, trust me. It's a common thing. It's a common thing. When you're doing your thing, you're trying to find your voice, trying to find your lane, trying to find what makes you you and expressing it the dopest way possible. Confidence, or should I say a lack of confidence, definitely will keep you from finding your voice. If you're not confident in yourself, it's hard to find that sweet spot in your creativity where you just sit there and say, yeah, this is who I am. This is where I need to be. And this is how I will talk about these particular subjects, or this is how I will sing, or this would be the style that I will express in whatever I choose to do. It's hard to do that if you're not confident. And you might be looking for other people to help you be confident, and you might not always get that. Matter of fact, there's people who were more interested in tearing down your confidence. They might believe in you more than you believe in you, but they said they're not going to help you find yourself. They're going to hope you don't find yourself. And they may think you're better than they are. Or they might think you're just, might not even be better than they are, but you might be just as dope to them. And they're like, nah, they're not trying to help you do better. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to be confident. You have to gain confidence in yourself. You know, you can't just be stuck being scared to express yourself, being scared to explore who you are and explore your creativity and look into your best authentic self and say, okay, this is my voice. Can't do that if you're scared to try. If you're going to be comfortable with being unconfident, if you're going to be comfortable feeling bad and like, I can't do it, then you won't do it, most likely. You all can't do it, then you won't do it, most likely. You just won't. And that's real. That's for anything. So that now that that's taken care of on that end, you see, okay, the things that are like roadblocks to you discovering your unique voice, your best authentic self. Let's talk about ways you can find your voice, your best authentic self. Let's get into it, y'all. Yeah. Okay, if you wanna find your voice, if you wanna find your voice, there's different ways. And when I talk about finding your voice, there's so many ways you could take that. You could take finding your voice as a vocal performer, like maybe a singer. You're trying to find what style you're just singing, what key, what range is good. Practice, baby. That's one of the ways. Do your vocal warm-ups. Identify your range. Maybe you're gonna hire a vocal coach to help you. And in that area of self-discovery you're going through with your vocal coach, that can help you discover who you are vocally, what's best for you. You pay attention to what you're doing. You record yourself. Maybe, I'm not saying you have to go to the studio with it at first, maybe just a tape or even a memo on your phone. You got the voice memos on your cell phone. Singing to that, listen back, listen to what you hear. That's one of the ways you can really find your voice. Another way you can find your voice, let's say you're a writer. Self-reflection helps. Sit back and take the time to think about what means the world to you. What's important to you. What your values are. Express yourself, your inner thoughts, your truest feelings. Be vulnerable. You know, it's hard to find your true voice if you refuse to be vulnerable. You know, how can you find your true self if you're scared to share yourself? If you refuse to share who you are, you have to be vulnerable. Some people aren't even vulnerable with themselves. You have to be vulnerable at least to yourself. You have to see what hurts, what feels good. Those are some of the things that helps you find your voice. And another thing is experimentation. I say that's forever. Try new things, experiment. You may find something that you love, or something that you need to do, and you're like, oh, this is me. This is me. Or you might find something that doesn't mean too much. You was like, yes, you could take it or leave it. And then you might find something you totally can't stand. You're like, oh, this is everything that I'm not, everything that I can't stand. I'm not going to do it again. I'm totally against it. You can find out more about who you are and finding your voice that you want to express by, experimentation. You know, if it don't work, you don't have to do it again. So what do you really lose by experiment? What do you lose? If it's a song, you don't have to release it because you made it, you know? If it's a short story you wrote, you don't have to put it out there because you wrote it. You say, this ain't it. You don't have to do it. If you're a poet and you don't like these poems that you wrote, you don't have to put it out there. What you lose by trying something new? You might find a new way to um, express your creativity, or you may find out that the old way you was using is really you, and it really hits you right here. And you don't want to do that new stuff. You might find that out by experiment. You might like, oh, what I was doing before was perfect. That I need to stick with that. You know, improve on that. Experimentation really helps because, like I said, you don't have to keep it around. You can just crumble up the paper, throw it in the garbage can. That didn't work. That didn't feel right. That didn't feel like me. You don't have to do it again. And when you think of your voice, your best unique voice, your authentic self, you know, that's gonna take some reflection. Again, you think, who am I? Who am I? What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I love? What do I hate? What interests me? What bores me? Think about your passions. What are you passionate about? What are you really passionate about? Think about that. That you can't ignore your passions. Insight, insight. I'm sure you have insight. Share your insights. Let people know how you feel, what you think about certain things in relation to the fields that that you are trying to get into, or the creative areas that you want to express yourself in. Don't be afraid to speak. Jump into discussions, talk about it, you know, share. You may have something very, very valuable, insightful to share. You may have some gems to drop on people that they may need to hear. Now, I'm not saying that from a egotistical standpoint. I mean, I believe we all have something to share. And your experiences. What about your experiences? What about your experiences? What you've been through? Don't downplay your experiences. You can't find your voice if you're scared to speak on your experiences, if you're scared to share your perspective, and you let that fear keep you from sharing your perspective. How are you gonna find your voice? How are you gonna find your unique self? You're scared to be yourself. Another thing is you have to be real with yourself. Don't be afraid to be true to you. Be real with yourself. Can't be real to others if you're not real with yourself. You know, you can't project your best authentic self, your unique voice if you can't be yourself. Constructive criticism, don't be afraid to ask people what they think, how you can improve if they feel where you're coming from. Asking for criticism, constructive criticism, you know, that helps. That helps. So these ways, the ways I mentioned, they can really help you find your voice. And like I said, practice, practice, practice. Keep going at it. You're gonna find your voice. Do you hit different when you ain't scared to do you. Do your thing. Put it out there and I'm out. You know it. ReevesENT.com. Fridays, vibing with Reeves. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thanks for checking in. Leave it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Vibe with me. Stay up. Yeah.